The Secrets of Stargate is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, Episode 24.
Lieutenant West, Jackson has identified the seventh symbol.
All right, here we go. We are about to try to make a connection.
All we gotta do is bust out of here, commandeer the ship, and fly on home.
Indeed. You say that a lot.
I know that this could be dangerous. But this is our job, right? It's what we signed on to do.
It was never about going home. It's about getting us to where we're going.
Hi, I'm Jack Berrezzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Stika. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
All right, before we talk about this episode, I wanted to mention that if you like our show, please check out some of the other shows on StarQuest, including The Secrets of Star Trek, Secrets of Doctor Who, and Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World, among others. You can find all those shows at sqpn.com or on your favorite podcast app. And also be sure to stick around and we'll have some feedback from our listeners.
And leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, Stitcher or iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
It really does help promote the show. Word of mouth is pretty much our only word that we have.
Mouth. Yes. All right. And today we are talking about the third episode of Season 2. It's entitled Prisoners. The SG-1 team visits the fire swamp from Princess Bride. Fortunately, there are no ROUSs. Unfortunately, they are inadvertently convicted of aiding and abetting a murderer by the Teldor, the xenophobic rulers of the planet. For their crimes, they are sent through the Stargate onto the planet Hadante, a prison world. They meet a woman named Linnea, who promises to help them power the Stargate with her cold fusion tumbleweeds if they take her back with them. Meanwhile, back at the SGC, SG-3 has returned from the gate after investigating SG-1's disappearance, and SG-9, the diplomatic team, is sent through the gate to negotiate with the Taldor. General Hammond ends up going through the gate himself to confront the Taldor and cut through the legalistic red tape. Back on Hadante, Linnea cures a recently arrived prisoner's blindness, who then runs off without thanking her. SG-1 and Linnea are able to power up the Stargate and return to Earth by way of a planet that SG-3 is currently surveying, but Simeon, the former blind man, is able to escape with them. Back at the SGC, Carter and Dr. Janet give Linnea access to their computers for some inconceivable reason. Simeon reveals to Hammond that Linnea is the destroyer of worlds and was sent to Hadante because she killed half the population of the planet. Linnea incapacitates Carter and Fraser and escapes through the Stargate. What are your thoughts on this episode, Father?
Oh, this one I kind of enjoy. I mean, it's almost a bottle episode because most of it is either in existing sets or one set that they put together with the prison. So you could tell it was a lower quality, or not quality, but lower value for cost episode. But it's one of those I've always kind of liked, and it's interesting to find out that Jack's been to prison before,
Yeah.
But no, I like this one.
Yeah. What about you, Lisa?
No, this is a good one. This is something that I think they do a lot of in season 2, or several times, I should say, but it's a one-off. So it's not really connected to the rest of the, the episodes. It's kind of like a one world, one episode. And it's engaging, keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're not sure how, they're going to get out, but you're not sure how. And it's some cool technology along with it.
Yeah. What about you, Victor?
Yeah, I really like this episode too. I think it's probably one of the best episodes to date. It's not one I would go back and watch like over and over again, just because some of the prison scenes are a little intense, but there's a lot going on in this episode thematically. It's a very good episode, has a very good twist at the end. And again, the moral, don't do gain of function research on known pathogens.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to depart a bit from the consensus and say that I was not a big fan of this episode. Mostly for the reason that I feel like they had too many different moving parts and they didn't really thoroughly explore any of the ideas they laid out. Like you get them on the prison planet, but you don't really explore the prison culture that's arisen there or them having to deal with that. It's kind of just they're there, and then the prisoners are very briefly a problem, but then it's kind of brushed to the side. And I would have liked to see at least some of SG9's negotiating with the Taldor. Like I feel like that was a really interesting idea that they brought up, and then they kind of just let it drop. Like it's just mentioned off screen mostly.
I think we see some of that through General Hammond's negotiation, along with Major Kovacic, who is, I think, one of my favorite characters to date. I don't think we ever see him again, but I like just how he's really smart and sensible and rational, and he's just a really excellent character. He's someone like you would meet at work and stuff, and I don't think we ever see him again.
Yeah, he's very no nonsense.
Yeah,
definitely a lawyer.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Well, I will jump in and say that my 15-year-old came in the room when I started this episode, and she goes, "I love this episode. This is one of my favorites."
Nice.
She didn't elaborate as to why, but I'm going to assume because it's little grandma lady is doing the unexpected and rocking everyone's world, and she just thought that was super cool.
Yeah, I liked the set design for her hut. It reminded me a little bit of something out of the Dark Crystal. It was very Jim Henson.
Oh yeah,
feeling.
Agra's hut there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even her clothes, what she was wearing, it kind of reminded me of all the roots, around them, right? With the design on her dress, and then she even had a whole cloak to go over it that matched.
Yeah. Although when they get taken by the Taldor at the beginning, and they're in that interrogation scene, I was just hoping for one of them to put his arms up and do the thing from Tron. It looked like that poster. The big beam of light.
Yeah. Now, if Linnea looked familiar, her name was played by Bonnie Bartlett, who's one of those actresses you've seen everywhere. She's all over the place. I mean, she's in so many different shows and series and everything. Interestingly, she's been married to the actor William Daniels for 70 years. And William Daniels is probably two roles that he's best known for is the voice of Kit in Knight Rider and the principal in Boy Meets World.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say St. Elsewhere.
Yeah, St. Elsewhere as well. Yeah. He was.
I grew up watching that one. Yeah.
And by the way, the two of them played husband and wife in St. Elsewhere's as well.
Aww.
Yeah, I saw on IMDb she was also in Boy Meets World, so they probably played opposite each other several times at least.
It's still pretty incredible that they've been married for 70 years this year, because 1951 is when they got married.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yep.
Bonnie Bartlett, 92 years young, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. She was born in 1929 and she is still kicking around.
Yep, exactly. So
yeah, I recognized her as Patience from the pilot episode of Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're
the
right.
no-nonsense,
yeah, I forgot she was in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's a great actress. I mean, like I said, she's obviously had a good career. Kept busy, as they would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. No, I saw as recent as 2017. She's still still doing stuff. So.
Oh, Grace Snyder on Little House. Yeah, I mean, an impressive resume there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lucille on Home Improvement. Yeah.
But yeah, I do like how they're starting to get into the other layers of the issues you'd be running into if you were doing this kind of thing where you're going to these different planets, the worrying about the diplomacy where you can't just go in and pull people out immediately. You've got to function within the framework of these planets that you're going to see.
Mm-hmm. And not everyone understands what you're doing or agrees with you, or you can just talk your way out of it or shoot your way out of it. I like that it added that extra layer, and also you've got that black and white mentality for law, right? Either you're just guilty and everyone gets the same punishment, or even General Hammond's trying to say, I'm guilty because I'm responsible for them, or I sent them there. And well, did you order them to do this? No. Okay, not guilty. Okay, not guilty, go home.
Next. Next case.
It was really interesting to kind of contemplate what that would be like as a society, right?
I will say, though, that this is a better episode of accidental violations of law than say Wesley Crusher falling into the white greenhouse.
Yeah. This is a good episode of Space Court because it deals more with the fallout and the appeals process.
Appellate space court.
Yep.
Yeah.
Escape from Stargate 13 or whatever.
Speaking of Star Trek, it did make me think of the Voyager episode where Harry, Kim, and Tom Paris are put on that prison barge in space, and a lot of the episode is like their psychological breakdown within that prison culture, and then the B plot is Janeway trying to get them off the.
That's right. I
that
forgot
prison.
about that.
And that was a really good examination of that. That's kind of what it made me think of.
Yeah, very similar idea.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very dark episode too. There's some gate shenanigans early on where immediately coming to the prison planet, they see smoking feet and boots that are just kind of smoking up, and it's because in order to instill loyalty or keep people from rioting, Linnea is promoting an atmosphere of hope by telling people that they stand in front of the vortex of the event horizon. When the Stargate opens, they'll escape. When in fact it vaporizes them. So yeah, pretty dark in that respect. And then we get another moment later on where, as SG-1 is escaping, the vortex completely destroys the food trough that the other prisoners use to catch the food as it pours through. Turns it into basically like just smoking rubble.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching this with our 8-year-old, and I said, "Oh no, they just destroyed their food trough." And he goes, "Well, it's sucks to be them, basically."
Yeah.
Too bad for those people. But he also noticed that when Linnea was dialing the Stargate, she was dialing the Abydos gate address again. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Using that same video clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. When you look at the Kush, there's the one time the Kush comes out, and you can see the three people that were standing there, the ones that pushed Daniel out of the way.
Yeah.
You see them in the vortex, and all of a sudden they're gone. It's just like, wow, that is dark.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that effect. It was convincing and creepy.
For sure,
And
they got to survive.
There's your Daniel as the conscience of the team, right?
Yeah.
You're going to die. You need to move.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are like, leave him alone.
And of course, a couple of times in this, Daniel doesn't listen, as Daniel does, and Daniel pays the price, as Daniel does, and he still doesn't learn, as Daniel does.
That's what you need him to do, yeah.
Yeah, recurring thing.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that the food trough scene, though, because that was just unappetizing as all get out.
Yeah.
They did a really good job making unappetizing oatmeal there.
I mean, that makes rules sound good, right?
Yeah, camp oatmeal there.
Oh.
Just pouring through the Stargate in like a stream. Like you don't even see the dispenser. It's just squirting out of the Stargate.
You see the horse on the other side, yeah.
Well, and is that the first time we've seen really something coming through in that manner? I know we did later, but I saw some people discussing it online. Like, so now we know you can force stuff through.
Well, I mean, we've
talked
seen
about Kipo with the bodies, remember?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we've seen Goa'uld throw bombs through the pilot episode where they threw the flash bomb or the scanner bomb or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think the gate times out like after 15 seconds with no matter passing through it. So a constant stream of, because when they first walk through the Stargate, they don't all go through at once. They space themselves out. So there's some sort of timeout or something going on there.
Yeah.
So does that mean you could enact some sort of physical denial of service attack by just firing a ton of oatmeal through the gate all at once?
Or
totally they do.
Yeah. Episode later.
Yep. Where
there's an episode about that where the Goa'uld attack SGC with a stream of particles that ends up heating up the iris.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's the Satan Goa'uld, I think, that does it so core. I'm not mistaken.
What did y'all think about the name of the planet?
Dante, so I guess it's a kind of a portmanteau of Hades and Dante, so you get that kind of hell vibe. Although it did make me think of al dente, undercooked noodles.
I was thinking if it's supposed to be Hades and Circle of Hell stuff, why are they wearing puffy winter jackets?
Yeah.
because hell is cold.
Hell is cold. Yeah.
If you've read the Inferno, actually the lowest level of hell is frozen by the wind of the devil.
Not
His
since high
wings,
school.
was an angel. Yeah. Yeah. So his wings are, because he's stuck in there, he's actually frozen in the lower level of hell. So yeah, the top
Yeah, it's like a
level
frozen lake.
is hot, but as you go down, it actually gets colder. So that actually fits.
When they later go to hell, it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I do like that whole Linnea's kind of her anti-matter or her fusion matter like mass thing that she's got. She's talking about the fundamental particles, and it is nice to see that she's programming in BASIC to get that done.
Ooh. With a koala pad. She had a Commodore 64. It was also used with the Apple II, a koala pad. The drawing tablet. It is a koala pad. I looked it up. I had one as a kid. Drew many pictures on my Commodore 64 with that. But yeah, it is a koala pad. And okay, this just came to me. The only explanation, Linnea is a Time Lord. It's the only way that she would know how to like work all the technology, get everything done.
Not just a Time Lord, the Doctor.
Oh.
She is the Doctor because she was called the Destroyer of Worlds. And what do the Daleks call the Doctor?
The Destroyer
of Worlds.
Yeah.
Linnea is the Doctor.
Maybe she's
one
of
the timeless children regenerations.
Can we do a crossover with Secrets of Doctor Who?
And I don't recall, but don't we see her later with a different face? Like she has a different face
She
later.
gets de-aged. Yeah. You're right.
So there we go. You're hearing it here first. Linnea is one of the timeless children Doctor's regenerations.
Thank you for listening to the Secrets of Doctor Who. So we can add her to, is it Mary Poppins is also considered to be one of the regenerations of the Doctor?
The Missy you're talking about?
I think people there's a joke about Mary Poppins being a Time Lord too.
Oh, I've not heard that one, but could be.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got a magic umbrella, or a sonic umbrella, I guess you could say, that lets her fly. So,
yeah.
I was thinking of the Missy, who is the Time Lord, the Master, the female incarnation of the Master.
Oh yeah.
And of course, he had kind of the evil Mary Poppins look going on.
Yeah,
she had the evil Mary Poppins look.
So Hammond really shines in this episode. I mean, ultimately he's ineffective, but he gets off probably I think one of my favorite lines of this episode and maybe several episodes where he's about ready to step to the gate and he's like, the things I do for these people, going to an alien world to argue with some judges who could banish me to prison for life.
And he didn't seem to want to listen to, I forget his name, SG9.
Kovacic.
No, he was all like, Texas justice, we're going to do this my way.
Yep.
Going guns a-blazing,
Yeah. Like
is this the first time we've seen him go through the gate?
Yes.
I know he went through when he goes to Antarctica, but this is the first time he goes off.
Well, he didn't go through the gate to Antarctica. He went the long way around.
Helicopter.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he went by aircraft. This is the first time he's gone through the gate. That's why he kind of looked at it and kind of hesitated because he hadn't been through it yet.
Are you sure
Won't
they
be the
got
last
the right
time
address?
though. Yeah.
Yeah, and I read this is the first time you see someone go through the gate from the opposite side of the gate. That effect where we saw him step through going towards us through the gate. Yeah,
nice.
Kind of cool.
I love that effect where it looks like you're looking through water, like a waterfall. Such a cool.
Yeah.
Kind of a nice change.
That is something that I've thought about. And I haven't seen Universe, so I don't know if they do this, but if they ever do make a new Stargate show, I imagine they're probably going to want to update the effects to make them more realistic. But I really, really hope that they would keep the same effects for the actual Stargate portal, even though it's very clearly just water. It just works.
They change the color, depending on which galaxy you're in, I think, but basically the same.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see what they do with that.
Yep. So on the prison planet, we get a rogues gallery of characters there. We get this little scavenger guy who runs around and tries to be their friend, and he talks to Teal'c and says, maybe I be your friend. And Teal'c goes, maybe not, which is a pretty sick burn to this poor guy. But And then right at the end, when they're all gating off, he's like running to the gate and gets there, and it shuts down, and he's like, "Oh," it's like
Kind of like a
sad.
puppy that
Yeah.
gets left behind.
Yeah.
And then we get Vishnur, played by the character actor Mark Atkinson, who is someone who's been in everything as well. And he's a little too cuddly, I think, to really be taken as a credible threat. He kind of just like when he just hugs you to death, and he's murdered by Linnea's, like, I guess a ghoul device or something. And I didn't get right away that he had died from that, but then they're like,
I thought he was just like knocked
yeah,
out.
and they're like, "Oh, Daniel, you must have killed him somehow." And he's like, "Oh, I guess I did somehow." Wow,
I don't remember getting the upper hand.
Yeah,
Okay, the fact that they didn't question that a little bit more, right?
yeah.
Well, they do, but they just kind of say like, well, you got to do what you got to do to survive in a prison world, especially if you're a woman among all these dudes.
Yeah.
But
They
guess-
kind of brushed it off.
they kind of brushed it off. Like, but how did he? No one ever, I don't know, really thought about it. Because obviously Daniel was incapacitated. He didn't kill him. So how did he die? And they're just like, meh, we don't care. Let's go.
I don't know. His heart exploded or something.
Yep.
Too much
From
flop.
strength in Daniel.
Yeah.
He did, yeah. Speaking of being cuddly, he did kind of give off the vibe of that Looney Tunes character who like squeezes his
Yeah.
butt to death.
I'm going to
I will
hug him
pet you
and
the
squeeze
name
him and call,
George. Yeah.
call him George.
He had the same kind of voice for that.
Lenny, yeah. And then the blind man Simeon, played by Michael Putinen, if I'm saying that right, and he's another character actor who's been in like everything made in Vancouver for the past like 30 years. But I thought that scene was done very well, where she cures his blindness and like he sees her and then runs away, and it's like, the SGs really don't comment on it, but it does kind of communicate that Linnea isn't really all she seems to be. And she's a little too enthusiastic about like, oh, this will allow me to replicate a virus, and these gates go everywhere.
Yep.
Tell me more. Tell me more. You say.
Well, tell me about these basics you talk about. These basic elements you talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they return to the SGC. They hop from, because they can't go directly back to the SGC because the iris is closed and they don't have their garage door openers.
Mhm.
So they go to the planet where SG3 is, and then they hop from there back to the SGC, and they immediately kind of give her full reign of all their systems. And
Yes. Sam Carter's a little too eager to show her off all their goodies on it. Oh, so you've got something that stores a lot of the machine that stores a lot of data. Oh yeah, let me show you how you use our computer.
Yeah.
And of course, she's immediately,
Yeah, Sam wasn't really like at the top of her game in this episode. When they're showing, when Linnea's showing them the cold fusion roots, and she's like, well, we could use it to power the gate, but it's not going to be as simple as splicing together a few wires. And then they get to the gate, and all they got to do is like wrap the moss around the gate.
Make a
It's just
vine around it,
easier. It's way
Yeah.
easier than splicing together a few wires.
Yeah.
you don't even need a crimping tool.
Carter was definitely dazzled by all the possible science, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not paying attention because there were a lot of red flags.
oh
That
yeah.
Linnea wasn't what she seemed. I think Jack saw him, but he's thinking you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah. Well, just the fact that she survived in this very rough environment for seemingly a long time, and had everybody basically afraid of her. Or even the big baddie, Vishnur is like, no, I'm not gonna mess with you. I'm not gonna go there. And it's like, okay, there's something more to this woman than just that sweet science-y grandma that she sees.
Yeah. And I don't know if I missed it, but I don't think they talk about where she got all her technology that she has with her. Like, I guess it's implied she kind of just scavenged it from the civilization on that planet.
Yeah, the civilization that was 15,000 years old. And I didn't get the impression that the Taldor race had created that technology, that they just found this world and set things up there. But the Gate World Wiki has a different kind of read on it. And thank you very much to our listeners for sending that long timeline in that shows the history of the Atlanteans and the ancients. That was very helpful. It came up in a previous episode. Keeps coming up. What's the timeline of all this? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure to include that in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll bookmark that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Print it out, put it on the wall in front of my desk.
Yeah. With the little connected with pieces of yarn and string.
Oh yeah, I'm already there.
But if the replicators were created by a cyborg, then how Android? Then how did they originate? And I guess the Scalar C.
We'll see Victor like that meme where the crazy guy, he's pointing at it. Just insane. That'll be Victor.
Yeah.
Put it behind you so you can see it.
It's already me.
Nice. Did you have any other thoughts on this episode, Father Cory?
I think that was it. I like the fact that they compared the prison planet to Botany Bay in Australia, not the SS Botany Bay in Star Trek. But of course, Botany Bay is, as they say in the show, Sydney Harbor. That's where the first prisoners were basically thrown off of in Australia.
And the Catholics.
Same difference. I love Tilt's reaction when he first sees the slop come in. He just walks up, looks at it, went, nope, walks off.
Yeah.
He's like, Junior's got me. I'm good.
Yep.
And do some intermittent fasting.
And then, of course, it's pretty clear that we now know that, Wuhan Labs was actually run by Linnea. And she's the one who created COVID-19.
She's the bat lady.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's all I got now that I threw that one out there.
Nice.
Well, it's funny you mentioned episodes of Voyagers. Like right after I watched this, I watched that late season 1 episode where Neelix has to reconcile with the guy that that basically bombed his planet and gave everybody a horrible disease and stuff, and or his moon, I guess. And so, yeah, it was definitely out there in the mid to late 90s and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a Oppenheimer attitude towards things.
Who
Actually, she was not remorseful. So.
Yeah, quoted, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds." Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What about you, Lisa? Did you have any other notes?
No, for once, you didn't ask us if we see her again, like this whole world building thing, because the answer is yes.
But not the same person.
Not the same.
Oh, yeah.
We see Destroyer of Worlds. Let's put it that way. We see her again. Yes. And no, I love it. I love the little twist. I like the edge of your seat. Kind of using the old grandma to be evil. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, Barry Grimm's fairy tales, Hansel and Gretel and stuff, and yeah.
And we get a little bit into Jack's background that we're going to delve into. I think it's this season later about going to prison and his experience. So, just
nice
continuing character development.
I watched 4 months of my life disappear.
Nice. How does that? I wonder how that affects your. I know Father Cory, you might have insight on this, but like, how does that affect you rising through the ranks in the Air Force if you have like a record?
I don't know. Honestly, it. I guess it would depend on why you were put in prison. Like, if you're in prison in another country because like false charges or whatever, that could be one thing. But if you did something stupid over there, generally you don't rise through the ranks. You rise out of the ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a POW camp, I think.
Yeah. POW is something, very different. There are lots of people who were POWs at one time or another and still were able to continue in the military and continue with their ranks.
Yeah, that makes sense. See, I don't know why he was in prison yet, so.
Yeah.
So.
Jaywalking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always that. All right. We have some feedback from our listeners. Tech Matt says, Tech Matt, Secrets of Stargate. I just wanted to say I'm really enjoying the podcast. I'm an original Stargate fan and saw the movie in theaters as an 8-year-old, and I remember being freaked out by the Horus guards and Ra's flashing eyes. I then watched SG-1 reruns for years out of order, and around season 7, I was actually able to watch it live from then on. Regarding the most recent episode, Solitudes, my thought about the Serpent Guard is maybe he got there the same way Jack and Sam did, by the gate jumping from the Egypt gate to the Antarctica gate. Mm-hmm. My question is then about what was a Serpent Guard doing there trying to gate to Egypt that just got him booted to Antarctica since Ra and Apophis were enemies. A possible spy for Ra trying to escape Apophis, then staff weapons fire as he made his escape made the gate jump. So it looks like he's asking about on the episode where they're trapped in Antarctica, why that the Serpent Guard was there.
Yeah, no, it's a good.
So yeah, it's a good good headcanon. He says, looking forward to the approaching finale of the first season and what other secrets will be uncovered. Yeah, we just at this point in recording, that will be a couple weeks ago. So hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all timey-wimey on this show. Or wait, sorry, wrong show.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, we get some
All right,
timey-wimey coming up here soon too.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's a good
Bradley C. from Mobile, Alabama. So a good neck of the woods to be from. Says, "Hey guys, I just wanted to send over a little love and support to Secrets of Stargate, as well as all the
Yay.
great stuff over at SQPN. However, I know it's been mentioned by previous feedback, but y'all absolutely have to do some variety in the coverage. I can't wait 10 seasons to hear about Atlantis."
Well, it's not
yeah,
10,
it's
it's 7.
8. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, because we're gonna intersperse that once we get to that, and we'll kind of do a back and forth. I think is what we'll do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also did like you mentioned earlier, Victor. We wanted to say thanks to Susan Gardner 19 on Twitter for sending along that Gate World link. I'll make sure that's included in the show notes. But yeah, no, we again we really appreciate all the feedback from our listeners, and we love to hear from y'all. And before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Lawrence V, Aubrey Z, Kathy F, Dogwood T, and Rhea B. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. You can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on Twitter at SQPN. You can also join the StarQuest fan club mailing list by texting StarQuest to 66866. Send StarQuest to 66866. And we'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1, The Gamekeeper. Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me and sharing Secrets of Stargate.
Well, thank you, Jack.
And Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack. Now look scary and take point.
And once again, I'm Jack Barazzini. Thank you for listening to the Secrets of Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?